Hey dreamers, this is Dosha with DoshaDreams Tarot, and I am doing a dream journal update. So, a little bit of background on me and my dreaming. So, I am somebody who dreams pretty much every night. I have from the time that I was a little girl, and I have all types of dreams. So, part of the reason why I started this channel was to not only read tarot to y'all, but also to share my dreams. Because I think that, first off, I just need to share them. Second off, I think some of them are a lot bigger than me. Some of my dreams are interpersonal and are really just about my journey and my healing, my growth, which is, by the way, plays into the pattern of humanity, right? So my journey is, in a lot of ways, I think, reflective of other people's journeys as well. And I think some of my insights and also some of my techniques for dreaming can be really, really helpful to people outside of my immediate circle, right? So those are kind of the reasons why I want to share my dreams. Is I'd like to really help guide and empower people to be able to navigate the dreamscape a little bit better, and also to increase your inner strength, right, for being able to kind of face the really strange energies that we can encounter in our dream world, right, in the ethers. Okay. Also want to share my beliefs about dreaming. I'd also really like to, like I said, share my dreams, because I feel that some of them are, like I said, some of them are just in my wheelhouse, in my sandbox, so to speak, where it's just kind of like me working through my stuff. And so that stuff is a little bit less important, other than kind of what the lesson is that is coming through, the advice or the guidance that's coming through, and how that can like play into other people's personal journeys, right? So that's kind of part of my dreamscape. But the other part is me going out of my wheelhouse, like out of my inner world into other worlds, right? And I think that can be incredibly useful information, as far as the experiences I've had, and kind of what I've learned from them, right? How it's strengthened me spiritually. Okay. And then the third one is the messages that I receive from the divine, that I feel truly can be warnings, can also be premonitions that are helpful in preparing us for what is coming. And the thing is that we are all connected in an interwoven collective, right? So when there's things happening on, the other side of the planet, and there's people thinking and feeling and doing things, right, taking actions, planning to take actions, those things can ripple through the web, and people who are open to it, or who have been kind of, given that little secret spice, when they were getting, put together, they can feel it, and they're like, whoa, hey, I'm feeling this thing, or it's coming to me through visions or dreams, and I want to share it, right? Either to protect people or prepare people, or provide guidance, all of those things, right? So I'm kind of like a mix of all of that. And so I just want to start by saying also that it is something that has been incredibly challenging for me, and in a lot of ways I feel like for a lot of my life I have kind of like prayed for this to be kind of like taken away from me. It's not something that I think for a lot of my life I have really struggled with it, and it's really comes with a big burden and also a big responsibility. And I also will have premonitions and dreams about other people, and so having those types of really like deep insights into other people can be really challenging, because you're like, well, to what extent do I share this with them, and is this really just for me? Are they really just a reflection of something that I, like, are they just kind of standing in as a symbol, right? What does this person mean to me, and how would they be, how would my mind, my psyche, my spirit use that as a way to help teach me lessons? Does that make sense? So in a lot of ways, I think people who do dream the way that I do, I think that can be a very big struggle. Like, that can be a really big question mark for you. And also, especially in kind of like, I feel like, the Western world, right? Like, basically every country in the world has been colonized, but I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like, kind of countries where the colonizer attitude is much more prevalent, there's a big disconnect between the esoteric realm and the spirit world and the physical world and what we experience in our day-to-day lives. So people can say, God, I had a weird dream last night. It was so wacky and weird. I don't understand it. My brain is so silly, and then just like move on, right? So there's not like a whole lot of deep diving going on when it comes to dreaming. I feel like people are starting, it's becoming more mainstream, it's becoming more accessible. And for that, I am incredibly grateful. But for most of my life, it was kind of something that was, I know that a lot of my family members do dream though. And so it was encouraged for us to talk about our dreams. And my parents have had premonitions and dreams about, pretty big world events and things like that, like prior to them taking place. And so that, that has been a part of my upbringing and my world, but I know for a lot of people it's not. So there's plenty of times where that, like, I have shared dreams with people and they've been like, what, like, you're watching too many movies or something, right? Like, it's always something, outside of you that is influencing your psyche, and then you're having these dreams and the meaning is really, really not that important. But I'm here to tell you that is not true. That is something that we are told in order to devalidate our experiences, and for us to kind of like not lay a lot of weight onto our dreams. And I will say that sometimes our dreams are strange and hard to interpret, but that doesn't mean that they don't have meaning. Okay? Does that make sense? The meaning could be that, it's like if you are watching a lot of horror movies or something, which I don't watch horror movies. I don't like watching horror movies. I think that it stimulates my nervous system and my, anxiety skyrockets, and then I have to come back down from it. It has a lot to do with, our cortisol production and our adrenaline production. Personally, I don't like having my nervous system stimulated in that way. I don't derive any kind of pleasure from it. It bothers me, and then I have to recover from it. And I've always been that way since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Violence and stuff like that is something that I'm not really big on. I can deal with it. Does that make sense? Or if the plot line is good enough, then I can say, okay, this is part of the plot line. But if the whole purpose of the film is really just to it's just a scare factor, then I'm not really big on that. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, the fact that I have dreams that involve a lot of intense things and wartime scenarios and things like that, when it's not really content that I'm consuming, it just tells me that this is what's happening around me and I'm picking up on it, okay? And that there is meaning to it and that it is valid and it's important, okay? So there's a couple of dreams that I want to tell y'all about, and one of them I wanted to make sure that I dedicated an entire video to, but I think that I can talk about a couple of them because the dream that I had last night was really quite interesting, and and I'm not going to tell you every part of my dream last night because there was a lot of really personal stuff that I feel isn't really relevant to y'all, but there was just one part that I really wanted to talk about because it was really lucid and very empowering, and really just I surprised myself. I was impressed with myself, right? And then the other dream I had 3 days ago has been on my mind, and I've really, really struggled with the idea of should I make a dream journal about this? It's yes, this is why you literally this is part of the reason why I started the channel. So I'm just letting you know that if you come here for my tarot readings, thank you, and that's the majority of what I do here, but I am going to be inserting dream journals as I dream, okay? So what I want to say is my dreams have been incredibly challenging and impactful and difficult the last couple of years, especially 2020 was an incredibly difficult dream year for me. But in the last 2 weeks, my dreams have started to get better. Knock on wood. Where's the wood? Because I have been praying about it, and I pray to the divine, whatever the source of all life and everything is. I pray to the higher power, right? So, there's a lot of different names for it, but, for me, it's, it is a very real aspect of my life because, many times I have been touched by its light, is the best way I can say it. So I do have deep faith, okay, and so I have faith in the divine, and so I pray for help, I pray for strength and guidance and support, and and its influence in my life. Like I if I am feeling lost, I pray for guidance. If I'm feeling weak, I pray for strength. It's that sort of thing, right? And I know that it takes action in my life. Like I can't just say, oh, Spirit, will you please, help me be more happy or whatever. It's like, yes, we're deriving joy from being in touch with the Creator, with the divine, right? But at the same time, it's like, well, what are the things in your life that are making you unhappy, right? Like, are you, not eating healthy, right? Like, are you not moving around enough? Like, you have to do all the things to cultivate joy in your life. And so Spirit will really redirect us to where we need to refocus our energy, right? So I feel like Spirit has been encouraging me in those similar ways to be really focused on my health, really focused on, on my mental health, like my thoughts, to just be like aware of my thoughts and watch my thoughts so I'm not thinking negatively, because that really impacts my joy, right? So that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say is, so I've been praying for my dreams to be less horrific, right? It's been like a freaking horror movie, and I've had to like really navigate a lot of stressful and scary situations in my dream world for a minute now. And so I really prayed on it, and I removed some objects from my space, and I did, I've been doing cleansing and protection rituals and things like that, and no joke, my dreams have been getting better, and I'm just so grateful because now my dreams are just they're just a little less intense. They're still as vivid, and my experiences are still intense, and I'll tell you about one of the dreams that I had recently, but they have been getting better and a little bit more like playful, and there's been some different elements of gentleness where that, like, I'm having experiences with like friends in my dream world, and I'm having experiences with just like different scenarios that are not just like surrounded like, or directly like difficult and scary, right? So okay, anyway, so I'll tell you about my dream I had last night first, and then we'll talk about the big dream that I want to get to, that I'm a little bit nervous about sharing, okay? It's because it's a premonition, and I think that premonitions like this are a pretty big deal, and I think that a lot of people in the kind of, like prophet-y kind of like, I get really frustrated because I think that people make these really big claims, and they just like put so much weight behind it, and they really, really try and convince people to believe that things are going to happen, and when you rally that many people together, and you like, especially like, are like taking donations and stuff, like, I just think that that's really, really messed up, because you don't really even understand how you're impacting people's lives, and you're also impacting our culture, and it changes people's decisions, and it changes the way they move through the world when they believe things, okay? So, and it can be incredibly dangerous, right? So what I'm trying to say is that I am really cautious about that sort of thing, and I concern myself with other people. Like, I concern myself with people's well-being, with their happiness, with their fear, right? And with their actions, right? So like, I don't want to ever say, you heard it here first, folks, like, this is gonna happen because God told me so. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not that kind of person. And, I really, really, I take issue with the New Age community because of that. And I also take issue because of the mediums and psychics, right? And then I take issue with the evangelical Christian community because of the way that they, claim prophet status for themselves, self-proclaimed prophets who, peddle these ideas and notions that serve an agenda, okay? It's not even just like things that they don't want to happen, right? Like, if you're having premonitions of things that you don't want to happen, right? I'm just trying to say, like, you have to understand that these people are prophesizing things that serve them, things that they want to happen, things that if other people believe that that will happen, it will benefit them in some way, okay? So you have to beware of false prophets. And, I'm not a Christian, right? I'll just come right out and say it. I don't identify with any denomination, okay? And I'm just saying that when people claim these things, like, you need to be cautious of them, okay? And I really do encourage people to get in touch with the divine themselves, okay? And you ask the divine what's true and what's not true, okay? Don't believe other people, and don't sell yourself short and believe that you're not capable of that, okay? Because we all have psychic abilities, because we're connected, it's about being either a clear vessel or a blocked vessel, okay? And you can get blocks from trauma, you can get blocks from lies and manipulation, you can get blocks from abuse, or from not treating yourself well, or belief systems. Like, we are such a multifaceted species, right? Like, as creatures, like, we are incredibly complex, okay? So we are influenced and molded and shaped by our environment, by the people around us, the content we consume, the food we consume, everything, right? We are incredibly sensitive and complex beings, okay? But we're also really resilient, and we're really strong and flexible, okay? So we can bend and move with our environment, and we can make different decisions, and we can always get back in touch with ourselves and with the divine, okay? You do not need a prophet to tell you what's what. You don't need a preacher to tell you what's in the Bible. Like, you know what I mean? And this is for everyone. And that's why I'm being diplomatic, and that's why I'm talking about things in such a wide spectrum kind of way, because this is the spectrum of spirituality, right? Is religion and esoteric knowledge and everything in between. And it's very nuanced, the differences, but I'm telling you, it all comes and boils back down to the same thing, which is being in balance. Who am I? What's the right and wrong thing to do? And being in touch with the divine. What is the truth, right? That's what it's all about, guys. Seriously. So y'all, so the dream I had, and I like this because I think this dream journal setup is actually going to give me the opportunity to talk a little bit more about myself and about my beliefs and the way that I move through the world. So I want to say that, moving forward though, as I shared this with y'all, that there are certain dreams that I've had in the past that have come to pass, and there's dreams that I have had consistently that have not yet come to pass, that I fear it's possible they may. So when I share this information with you, it's not to like stir the pot and get people scared and excited and generate more likes and shares and views for me, right? That's not what this is about. This is really about me sharing with you what I feel the divine is really inspiring me to share. And the purpose of that is for me to fulfill my purpose, and I'm not, it's not, and I think that's the most selfish part of my thing, of me even embracing my gifts and trying to share them with y'all, is because I feel like it is my purpose, and my anxiety will not allow me to, my anxiety used to stop me, right, from sharing my gifts. My anxiety used to tell me that I wasn't good enough, and that I was just, that I'm just crazy and all that sort of shit, right? Excuse my language, but seriously. Now my anxiety fuels me, because when I don't do what the divine asked me to do, my anxiety is like this. Like, I can't resist it anymore, okay? So just now when I was sitting there, kind of getting ready, like, oh, what am I going to do today? The divine was like, you need to talk about your dreams, and you need to get on there and do a dream journal right now. And I'm like, really? And, and I start to get a little nervous, and it's like, yes, do it. So I'm like, okay, I've got to work with these divine nudges, okay? And I have to stop putting myself in a box. Like, I can't stifle it anymore, okay? So this is what I'm saying to you, is that I've held myself back all my life, and I have stifled myself. And I've also, I've just told myself that my gifts were bogus. You know what I mean? But then I see all these freaking psychopaths, like, I'm serious, like these total narcissists running around being like, I have a gift, give me your money, and it makes me sick inside, okay, to see this happening to our culture, because this is humanity we're talking about. Like, this is our future, okay? This is what we're talking about here. This is our journey, okay? And I'm sick and tired of all these players in the game playing it like this. It's deceptive, it's selfish, it's narcissistic, it's egoic, it's disgusting. And I'm just so done, okay? And I'm sick of people abusing their power. So this is where the tables turn, in my opinion. This is where the tables turn, because I'm not the only one who feels like this. There are going to be more and more people like me coming out of the shadows and saying, look, I've been humble, I've been quiet, you know what I mean? I've shared things within my interpersonal circles, but now it's time to share this with a wider audience. Now it's time for us to step up into the spotlight, you know? And so it's incredibly challenging, especially because I know it's a spiritual battle, okay? And that's part of the reason why I've been so stifled all my life, because this is the warfare that's been happening, right? So what I'm here to say is you are good enough. You are strong enough. Your gifts are not bogus, and you have every right to speak up. And yes, it is a battle, but here's what I'm going to share with you, okay? You have the inner strength to do this, and the divine is behind you 100%, okay? You are protected, and it's going to take your participation, right? It's going to take your action, but you have it in you already, okay? So anyway, sorry, I get passionate about this sort of thing, and and I shouldn't even apologize for that. That's the whole purpose of this part of me, okay? Because I'm a multifaceted being. I have many gifts, but this is a gift that I specifically have had a lot of difficulty sharing, okay? So I'm going to tell you about my dream from last night, and I'm going to tell you that it was weirdly political. And there was lots of campaigns happening, okay? So what I'm getting is that this, the time frame that I might have been would be like in the next election, right? Which I don't even want to think about the next election. I'm so done. Because seriously, and politics is part of our culture as well. Like this is part of the spiritual warfare that's going on. So I'm not even going to, I'll be diplomatic as much as possible without being lukewarm, because I know exactly how I feel, okay? And we can talk about that another time, but what I'm going to say is that this happens every 4 years, okay? And I just got 2222 on the ticker up here. So what I want to tell you is that this happens every 4 years. This is a money-making scheme, okay? On both sides. Everybody involved in politics makes money off of politics, okay? Even the people who campaign and don't win make money. Seriously, you think I'm kidding? This is a money-making operation, okay? There are people behind the scenes who work on the campaigns who make money. There's people who make memes who make money, okay? I'm being so real with you right now. This is what it is, okay? So not only that, but this is literally impacting people's lives. Families have been torn apart for money, just so these people can put on a show. It's a show, you guys. I had a dream last night that revealed this to me, okay? I already knew this in my heart, I was like, God, this is such a freaking, the monkey chased the weasel freaking garbage. This is total garbage, and we're eating it up, okay? The issues are not garbage. Okay? The issues are very real. Okay? They're taking advantage of people's passion and what it is they believe in. Everybody, all around the circle, everybody is being taken advantage of. Okay? So I'll just blow the lid off that real quick. So that to me is so, they know it too. These people know it. They know they're taking advantage of the public. They know they're taking advantage of the American people, and not just the American people. This is worldwide, y'all. Politics fuel war. War makes money. It's all about money and impacting culture. That's what it's about. Like, it has nothing to do. These arguments for the politicians aren't even real. For world leaders, this is all about squabbles between citizens. Like, these are people's issues that are actually very real, okay? Because they're not wealthy. You know, this is the poor working class, those in poverty, the homeless, these us, right? Real people, everyday people, we're the ones who have to suffer the consequences. We're the ones who have to suffer the decisions of those in power. You think that they have our best interest in mind? Do you see how things went down these last 4 years? For everybody got screwed. Do you understand that? We all got played. And they didn't care. They didn't care how many people had to die. They didn't care how many people got hurt. They did not. I'm telling you, I'm not saying that our justice system needs reform. Our political system needs reform. The way that we pass legislation needs reform. It needs reform, okay? And when I say reform, I'm not saying that we need that, like, the entire government is corrupt and we need to burn it all down. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we have corrupt people in office who need to be held accountable for their actions in a court of law, right? I was like, okay, so I'm talking about doing this diplomatically. This actually plays into my dream, okay? And I'm going to share that with you now because I'm getting too political, but this is what I'm saying. This is all part of it. It's all connected. We can't pretend like we like it's not, okay? So it's all a show, first off. It's all garbage. And when I'm telling you this, like, I know how it sounds because I hear the way that other people talk about things, and it really does create more illusion. So I'm not trying to create more illusion. I'm trying to be real with y'all. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? Like, I'm a regular person with regular eyeballs, like, and I'm looking at the situation and I'm saying, like, they're all making so much money, y'all. Like, of course they're trying to make it dramatic and scary and all these sorts of things. That's not a conspiracy. It's just obvious, right? And you can't get mad at people for seeing that, you know? And it can be dangerous when people blow the lid off of things, because then it's like, well, then what do we do now, you know? And it's like, no, I'm not trying to say freak out more, okay? I'm trying to say calm down, okay? Calm down, okay? This is my dream. I dreamt that there were several different characters in my dream. One of them was a political campaign, what do you call it? And by the way, I have not been consuming political content. Like, I have taken a massive step back from politics, and, for many reasons, okay? But I just personally, my anxiety and my so many reasons why it was just impacting my mental health. And that's part of the reason, like, that's part of how I figured out, like, the thing, the stirring the pot thing that's going on, okay? Was, as soon as I stepped away from it, I started to feel normal again. I started to feel like me again. I started to feel like at peace again. I started connecting with other people in better ways, and I started to see the situation a little more clearly, and was like, man, people are really getting caught up in this, and this is impacting the entire planet, right? Because the United States, anyway, the way we impact other countries is massive. So, like I said, I'm not consuming political content. I'm not a conservative. You know what I mean? I'm just a human being, okay? I'm a truth seeker, right? So here's what I'm trying to say is that anyway, I dreamt this guy was making political ads, and he was, like, really proud of them, and they were, like, influencing a lot of people, and, like, I made fun of him, and he laughed with me. And I was like, no, I'm saying that you're ridiculous. Like, I was like, all your, like, America, like, apple pie stuff is, like, gross. Like, and he laughed with me and was like, I know, isn't it terrible? And I was like, oh my God, like, you even know how, like, gross this stuff is that you're, like, shoving down people's throats, like, this, like, like, and he knew it. And he laughed with me, and I was like, oh my God, like, y'all don't even believe the crap that you're peddling. You just know that it's working, so you're using it, and you're using it against people, and that's just disgusting to me. And so then there's this older woman, and this is a very strange part of the dream. It's very surrealist, it's not very realistic, but here's what I'll tell you about it, is that I was on some sort of I don't know. I haven't been traveling either, by the way. Like, I've been in serious quarantine. But I dreamt that I was in some sort of like hotel retreat situation, and that I stepped out into the courtyard, and there was a lawn, a big green lawn, and there was a lion on the lawn, and there were like this lady, such a freaking so this lady had like put the lion out there and turned on the sprinklers. And I don't know why, but the lion didn't know which way to go, how to get out of the sprinklers. I couldn't tell if it was like tied there or like what, but it was just getting wet, and it was like, it was upset and confused and like, you know what I mean? And was just like, didn't know what to do. And I went to this lady, and this lady was like maliciously laughing, like thought it was hilarious. And they did it on purpose. Like, they took the lion out of the cage, took it to the lawn, turned on the sprinklers. Like, the whole thing was orchestrated. Like, this lady did this on purpose. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with you, lady? Like, why would you do this? And I came up to her, and I was arguing with her, telling her like, what you're doing is wrong. Like, I don't know why you're taking advantage of this lion. Like, it really, like, it really brought up a lot of feelings for me, because I really love animals, and I love, you know, and I protect the innocent. Like, that's a big part of my purpose here as well. And so I was just like, I was mad. I was like, what the heck, lady? And then she proceeds to try and slap me. And I blocked her arm. She literally tried to slap me in the face. And I blocked her arm, and I said, are you serious? And I pushed her arm down, and then she is like acting like she's going to fight me. And I just grabbed her by the shoulders, and I held her there, and she was like, and she's like struggling with me. And I just said, look, I said, I'm not going to hit you back. And she like seemed kind of confused. And I was like, because I'm mature. And I just said that to her. So like I was just like, because I'm mature. And I took a deep breath, and I let her go, and was just like, let's move on. We have work to do, basically. And I was just like, let's move on. And I was like, you know, like, I'll see you at lunch or something like that. Like, it was like we were all working in a team together doing something. And she was just like, you know, brushed herself off kind of thing. And so I was able to change the entire outcome of that situation, because I was like, first off, I'm not going to hit you back, which is incredibly empowering, to be honest with you, because, you know, in my dreams, if people try and hurt me, you know, I fight back, right? But in that moment, it was so lucid. I could feel her skin. Like, I could feel her shirt. Like, I could feel like that my hands went like this, you know what I mean, onto her shoulders, and I could feel everything. Like, I was so close to her. And I just rocked her world, because it was like, she was so much older than me, and she was trying to slap me in the face because I was telling her what she was doing was wrong. And so she wanted to fight me for it. This old lady, basically. She had gray hair, you know? And I told her, I'm not going to hit you back. First off, because you're an old lady. That was kind of my vibe, was like, this isn't a fair fight. And, you know, I'm more mature than that. I'm better than that. I'm going to be the bigger person, because we have work to do, right? And so that's the vibe, y'all. Like, that was the biggest message for me last night in my dreams. And this is like really important, I feel like. I feel like this is important, because this is about people doing things on purpose, maliciously, for their own enjoyment and to make money off of others. And they are, when they're called out, they get aggressive, okay? And that's very real, okay? It's the same thing with accountability for police departments, right? Seriously, do you see the way that they responded to being called out for bad behavior? Like, I'm just trying to be real with y'all, okay? This is me being real. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat any of this, okay? People need to be held accountable, but I'm telling you, when people are called out, they get defensive and they get aggressive, okay? So you have to be the bigger person. You cannot, and I know some people are going to disagree with that, but I'm telling you, you have to be the bigger person, because we do have work to do. We can't get into scrappy cat fights with people because they're being pieces of garbage and you call them out and then they want to fight you over it, okay? You'd be like, no, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to defend myself, okay? I defended myself. I was like, you ain't going to slap me. I'm going to hold you there. I'm going to let you know, like, I'm better than you. Straight up. I'm bigger. I am the bigger person, right? That's incredibly important. So look, this is going to be a part 1 because I want the part 2 to be about the other dream, and this is already getting to be a long video. So I'm going to go ahead and do a part 2. If you enjoy this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, I am going to drop my donation links in the description box below because I am trying to come up. And you can drop me a donation if you'd like. If not, totally fine. That's all I'm saying is, you know, I'm not, like, I was really making fun of people for, like, peddling stuff and asking for donations, but, like, you know, it's real out here, okay? So, so I'm going to go and do that anyway. I do it for my tarot readings too. This isn't just about this, but I'm just trying to trust the divine. The divine is telling me that I need to share my gifts and I need to be open to receiving support. Okay. So that's all it is. That's what it is. All right. We need money to survive, but no, we don't need yachts to survive. We don't need $1 million mansions to survive. Like, you know what I mean? It's a completely different ballpark. Okay. So I'm not even in that ballpark, even remotely. So I don't feel guilty, all right? I'm not a corrupt person. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Dosha with DoshaDreams Tarot, and I will make a part 2 to this dream journal. So blessings to all y'all, okay? Thank you so much. Be strong, and hopefully I'll see you next time.